Welcome to Next Level eCommerce, the webinar scene where top e-commerce experts share their advanced tips and tricks.
Yes, welcome everyone. As you see, we did some work, or actually our designers did some work to make it even better and to get you in the mood as well. So good to hear that you liked the song as well. And if not, just let us know, of course. We actually have here, and we stopped counting at some point, but more than 47 different nationalities. So also let us know where you're from, because that's also interesting to know for us. Like here in the Netherlands, we had quite some rain the last couple of days, so probably there are lots of people here that had a bit of better weather than we had. I already see quite some things dropping in, and in the meantime, Jochem is also going to share a poll with you, basically to see if you did attend the last session, so that we can see, who was there and who was not. So if you have the time to vote. All right, I see a lot of people that unfortunately couldn't make it. Okay, great to see. At least we have quite some people also that attended it, and also a lot of people that watched the recording as well. So you all have already a bit of an idea what the concept is, but also let me quickly explain it, and also why we started this. Because Jochem and me in our day-to-day job, we had quite some cases and advanced cases that we saw, and at some point we thought, okay, it's quite unfortunate that we don't share these cases. And therefore, we started a bit of an initiative to see if we could do anything around this, and that's basically how it started. But let's also introduce ourselves. So my name is Jules. I'm an account executive or senior account executive for the Benelux region at Channable. I'm mainly working with enterprise clients, but also agencies to basically see how we can more efficiently scale their businesses. Apart from that, I have a great passion for e-commerce, online marketing, and tech, and I'm really into sports. So actually, I hope that the Netherlands will win the Euros, and probably there are a lot of people that think otherwise. So let me know who you support as well. But I'm not alone here because I have Jochem here as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Jochem, product lead within the ads team of Channable, where I basically work with together with the development team, but also with our customers, of course. And I see many of them are joining live today. Really nice, but together with those teams, we're basically building our tool, our PPC tool. And basically before we dive into the topic, I think Jules, you have some house rules.
Yes, we indeed have, and also what to expect, and that's also good to know. Because what we tend to do is we want to have a case for you every month by a specialist in the market that can really go and tell you advanced things. So therefore, we're always looking for good subjects, and even if you know someone, let us know, and then we can see what we can do there. But we have this webinar, but we also normally have additional content to be shared so that you get like extra proof and additional content for that. We won't talk about any fluff, and if you spot some fluff, also let us know, because we really want to give you actionable insights where you can do something with. And I do have some house rules indeed. So we tend to aim to get it done within 30 minutes, but we don't rush, because it's all about value. So whenever we go over time, we just run through, even if everyone is dropping out, because then we still have the recording, which you can watch back later. Another important thing for us, like there are a lot of things that can distract you, and we are also going to tell you a lot about advanced stuff, and especially Ruben will. So we really ask you to be here and to also appreciate Ruben telling you all these things. So even Slack, your email, or whatever is going on, try to shut it down so you can fully focus for at least 30 minutes on this. And there's another thing, which are the questions. So if there's any feedback, you can just share it in the chat. But if you look below, you can see a questions tab. And that's the place where you can put in your questions, and we can upvote the most important questions. And I say we, but you can also do it. And this is actually what we use within the Q&A. So therefore, it's important that you use the questions chat just here below. And you can put in any questions you, of course, like. That's enough for now, because I think it's time for us to introduce our guest. And let's first see who already knows Ruben. We know him quite well. but it could be that you don't know him and that you say, hey, who is this Ruben guy? And then we have Jochem here to give you a good idea of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just clicking on the button to publish the 2 polls. See the answers running in. But yeah, basically, before I introduce him myself, I see a lot of people already know Ruben. Right? Many people on LinkedIn, some follow his newsletter, and some already use his brand new tool. Glad to see that. Personally, I highly recommend at least to give him a follow on LinkedIn because I think he shares, next level e-commerce tips every day. So I personally really like to follow him. Next to that, he's also, I think last year you still were like doing it all by yourself, being a freelancer, and you're now like building an actual agency, building Taskforce, and he's actually sharing that all those tips in his newsletter. So maybe Ruben, since you're here, you can probably better explain why you're building a Taskforce.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. Much appreciated. I think, I'm a big fan of Channable since the first hour Channable was released, I think, a decade ago. And why we built Taskforce is because we want to do it a little bit different than other traditional agencies. I just had, you can look at the sheet. I worked at 3 different agencies in the north of the Netherlands in the past decade, and I learned a lot. I'm very grateful for that, but we like to do it a little bit different. So we only work with dedicated specialists on senior level only. Those are all freelancers, and we have great people who are building a team with us. So yeah, it's pretty cool. A little bit more a challenge by running your own business. I learned a lot the last year with my 2 great colleagues, and basically we are now in the growing phase, and it's pretty cool to see where it's heading, and pretty cool to share our knowledge we are developing in the last few years. Basically, we like to do webinars like this one to see what we have learned and maybe give some takeaways for other agencies or freelancers to pick up and to become also a little bit better in advertising. So that's I think small
very
introduction.
Cool. Yeah, nice. Thanks for the introduction. I also see that in the other poll that most of the people are not familiar with like advanced bucketing for pmax. So maybe let's start with a more general question before diving into the real topic. Of course, pmax is already out there for like 2 years now, and the sentiment about it was, I think at the start was quite negative, especially because the lack of control. How do you look at it, and maybe did your opinion change about it?
Yeah, of course. I was already when it's released. We are already in the beta, so we had a little bit more experience with the rest. But yeah, I think Performance Max is still a little bit the black box already. Everybody knows, and I think we can't get around it anymore. So basically, in the past, we are coping with our own previous methods with standard shopping campaign, and we did see that in the last 2 years it performed better, but we're starting to see that Performance Max is we can't get around anymore, and in most of our accounts who has a lot of enough data, then we see better results out of it, and additional scripts from legends in our scene. I think everybody knows the scripts. We can get a little bit more insights to make decisions on, and that helps really a lot to make better decisions. And I think in 2024 we are right now we can't get around anymore, and we have to deal with it. In some cases we are falling back to old standards with standard shopping campaign, but that is most of the times because of we don't have enough data or not enough budget, for example. So
Nice. Yeah, interesting. I think that's enough of an intro about the topic. would say let's get into it. You can control the slides, I guess. So
Yeah, I will. So
please go ahead.
Yeah, will do. So basically, my talk for today is about advanced product bucketing in a reactive way. We already know, I think, for the last year, maybe 2 years, it's become more popular between advertisers. Then I will go over to the more proactive way. That's the way we are tested within a lot of a few clients of ours, and we see great results out of it. And I will share an actual case where we implement it. So let's dive in directly. So basically, if you look at the this is a normal setup for us. You can look at it in maybe in 2 ways. On the right side, you have the mid funnel campaigns / bottom funnel campaigns, and this is a typical setup we are implementing in most accounts of our clients. So basically, we have a dedicated search campaign setup with the branded, non-branded, in most of the times semi-branded campaign as well. If you want to do running some ads on competitors, yeah, we can add it as well. And we top it off with the DSA campaign and DSA campaign based on your product feed. Basically, we start with a standard shopping campaign setup. We like to divide it on branded and non-branded segments. Also, we run dedicated remarketing, display, and YouTube campaigns. And yeah, and overall, if we have enough data, then we can start with the Performance Max data, with the Performance Max campaigns. That's on the right side. And if we have got not enough traction, then we go to the left side, to the tofu campaigns, to see if we can increase the search volume with prospecting campaigns. And yeah, I think in the last half a year, yeah, we already test a lot with demand generation campaigns, and yeah, we also have still dedicated display and YouTube campaigns as well. So basically, today we dive a little bit more in the Performance Max section over here, and the bucketing, how it's going, of how we implement it. So what is happening in a regular Performance Max setup is if you run one campaign, Google steer towards the products who are likely people who are selling, who are advertised selling the most. So if you see in most cases 80% of the revenue are realized by 10% of the products, and that's why, because of Google steered budgets where they can achieve the ROAS with the least difficulties. Also, you see that the Performance Max will steal the brand traffic as well. So luckily, Google has come up with some features that you can set your brand terms in the negatives, so you can drive only the non-branded traffic as well. But if you still use one campaign, you will see that a lot of products aren't getting any traffic. With the scripts I mentioned earlier, you can give some insights in which products that are. And basically, if you still using one setup, then you will going to miss out on a lot of sales, and also you create a lot of waste in the budget. So luckily, there came up with some solutions. Google themselves are provided a little bit more insights in how you can segment your products. They are coming up with, for example, you separate the campaigns based on margin levels of the products, or based on revenue rates. Also, if you use the new versus recurring parameters, you can separate them as well. So you can steer a Performance Max campaign only on the recurring customers, and also for the new for the new customers, because of in this case, we like to spend the most of the budget to the new customers, and the recurring customers we like to do it with cheaper channels like email or something like that. And basically, I think a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, the segmentation based on performance has introduced. I think it was Product Hero in that case, but yeah, many other companies are trying to do the same with their software. So what you can do is you can separate campaigns based on the past performance. So if you notice some products are getting a good ROAS and a decent amount of clicks, yeah, you can get those products and separate them in a separate campaign. And then you can allocate your budget to it, and you can yeah, you choose your targeting method. I think on your best sellers, you always want to push with the low ROAS setting with the big budget, and vice versa. So this was a little bit smarter than before, like in the beginning of Performance Max. But I think it can be a little bit more smarter. So what I just told is about campaign segmentation based on the performance is just, in this case, with a script or a tool, you can see what the past performance is of the product. Then you can set those benchmarks, for example, your amount of clicks you want to have, and you achieve ROAS. And then with the script, you can label these products with a label, for example, a hero or an over-indexed product. And you can put them in a separate sheet. Then you can get that sheet and you can put it in an additional import in Channable, and you can enrich your feed with those new attributes. And with these labels, you can you can drive you can segment your products in Google Ads, for example, and you can choose your bidding strategy and your budget that you want to connect to that. So in this case, we have implemented this strategy for almost all our clients in the last few years. And what you can see is in the most of the cases, you can see the profits are made from only, in this case, from the over-indexed products and the index products. So index is, in this case, the benchmark you have set. So basically, if you want to run a ROAS of 600%, and if you want to have a decent amount of volume, and you can see in the end, I think in the last table, only the profits are made in the over-index, index, in the near-index groups, and in the other two segments, we are losing money. And if you look at the middle pie chart, there you can see the most of the budget is going to the under index segment. And if you run, for example, one campaign with all the products in it, you will see that you pay the most of your budget to products that are not profitable in the end. So it's way important that you segment your products so we can steer on the products who are the most has a lot of profits. So that's way important to incorporate this in your strategy. So yeah, with this strategy, you can throttle down the campaigns or the products who are not yield enough revenue or profits. In this case, you can take a little bit more conservative way of targeting, and maybe you can put the budget a little bit more down. On the best performance, you can a bit more aggressively with a low target growth setting, for example, and a big budget. In most cases, we like to work with limited budgets, of course. And I think on those over-index or bestseller campaign, you can do that because they are profitable. And you get products that are not get any traction. Yeah, you can push harder. You can use another low ROAS setting to get some traction. So what I said, this advanced, a little bit more advanced setup has bring a lot to our clients in the last year. But I think this is not the holy grail in our scene. Because of if every advertising who are selling the same products use the same campaign type with the same strategy, then you want that won't cut it in this case. So we like to add some more data points in this case. mainly first-party data points to enrich the system, enrich the algorithm to make smarter decisions, even smarter than we can use with those scripts I just showed. Because of what I just showed is it's a little bit reactive, because of you are using the data on for example, for the past 30 days, and they achieved the ROAS, but that the ROAS can be achieved because of the products has been in a sale, for example, or maybe it was a little bit due a seasonality or something like that. So basically, it's reactive and it's not proactive, because you don't know what is happening in the upcoming period in this case. So we like to do it a little bit more smarter and use more data, not only looking at clicks and ROAS, but we like to add some more data points as well. So if you like, in the current case, I would like to dive in later on. Then you can see which data points we use. And this is all first-party data we can collect from our clients. And this is only working when you have enough data, and you have data on SKU level in this case. Otherwise, it won't work. And you have you need enough budget to hit at least 200 to 300 conversions a month. You can test a lot with the setup as well. And because we are separating the campaign structure, you need at least, I think, 50 to 100 conversions for each segment to run it properly. So basically, for the small advertisers, this way of advertising is not the way to go. Then you can maybe go to a little bit more consolidated way of targeting. But basically, this is how we do it. If it is possible, if our client have enough data, then this is the way to go. So what we like to do is we use price benchmark data. We get it from, in this case, we like to get it from OptiPrice Pricing. That's the tools where you can compare prices, and you can the tool can scrape the price every day, and you can put it in a separate sheet, and that you can import as well in your setup. Google Merchant Center has if you have enough data, Google Merchant Center has some data as well on comparative level. In the example that I will show later on, that's also data from Google Merchant Center. But the data on Google Merchant Center we can't trust enough, so we like to do it a little bit more on other platforms. But it's a pretty decent start to experiment with. We like to have return rates by product on SKU level. So we really like to know which product variant we get back and what the reason was why we get it back. So we like to have those data as well. We like, for example, if you're selling shoes or pants or trousers or something like that, we like to know how many sizes there are in the product family, and we like to know which are the most common sizes that are selling the most, because of if the best-selling sizes are already sold out, then we also maybe want to make this decision to put the other variants also in another campaign to liquidate those products, for example, or maybe we cut the product family within the whole setup, because of we know if only the XXL version for example for a sweater is available, then we will drain the budget on with clicks that aren't converting in the end. So that's something we'd like to add also. Of course, the margin is pretty of course for way important, because you want to steer on products with a lot of margin. Also, the velocity of the sales is pretty important, because of if you know if products are selling fast, then maybe you want to give it a little bit less budget, because because they already selling decent. So maybe you can put the budget a little bit more down on those products. So the velocity is pretty important as well. We like to know if it's the model, for example, for a shoe, if it's a new type of shoe, or is it a recurring model that every season is coming out again. So that's also a thing we like to know. And if it's the products are in sale period or not. So then we can make some educated guesses how we gonna segment our campaign structure. So how we combine this data and how we going to make it work and build our campaigns around it. So what we like to do is to build a master sheet. In this case, it's a Google spreadsheet. And then we need to import all the data from the CMS of the client or the data hub of the client, where we can combine those data with the different data points we have. For example, for the pricing, maybe the achieved performance of Google Ads, we can import with external scripts as well. And yeah, we need to build a master sheet. I have an example of it later. And we need to determine the weighing of all the different data points, because for the one advertiser, for example, if we need to reduce the amount of returns, if that is more important than, for example, the margin, then we have to make adjustments in our system. Then we can, then we can make some educated guesses and to steer the algorithm with. What we do, we give each factor, we give points, and the cumulative of those points, then we get a final score, and based on that final score, then we segment our campaigns on, and that score we connect to custom labels, and then we can segment the campaigns on in, for example, in Google Ads in this case. And later on, you can tweak, of course, the target ROAS on each campaign, but also you can fine-tune the weighing of the points if you want to steer on, for example, on the data points we just mentioned earlier. So, for example, this is an actual example of our client. So we have two products in this case. And we have those data points, for example, return rate. If the return rate is less than 25% on this product, then it gets 1.5 points. So if the margin is higher than 23%, you get 2 points as well. Same for the pricing. If the pricing is below the benchmark, so we know it's a good price, then it gets 2 points. If we know if the size availability is more than 50%, so that's within the product family. So if we know the most selling variants of for example, for a shoe or maybe for a sock, then if that's available, then it gets 1.5 points. If we know if the velocity of the speed of sales, if it's quick, then it gets 0 points, because we only want to steer products that are the velocity is low. Now, for example, in sale, new model and the past performance, we get points also, and then we calculate those points, and then you have, in this case, for product A, 10 points, and for product B, 5.5 points. And within Channable, we can allocate these different point system to different labels, and based on the labels, depending on the business goal of a client, we can set our bidding strategy. So, for example, label A, we know those products are profitable, low return rate. There we want to put an aggressive bidding strategy on it with, if it's possible, a limited budget. For example, label B, those are products that have a good potential. So we like to have a medium bidding strategy. We don't want to push the most aggressive, but a decent strategy with a medium to high budget, and vice versa for the other labels as well. I think it's pretty clear how it works. So basically, for our clients, we have incorporated this model. It's working pretty good. It's always to see on which knobs we have to turn with this point system to see where we can tweak the system. But this is an example of how a sheet will look like in our case. So on product level, we know the amount of return percentage, the margin, the quantity, if what we sold of those products, the stock we know. We also can calculate how many supply we have for the upcoming weeks with the decent velocity of the sales. So that's a little bit predictive way to see how we end up with a product. So the velocity is in there, if it's in sale or not, the price benchmark is in it, the category level, in this case it's a hero, zombie, a potential, or a no index product. Now if we know the pricing below benchmark, it also get the points, and size availability, the margin, and the return rate is also in there. So in the end, all the products get a total end score, and that's then you get in. If we upload this in Channable, we can get the labels as well, and then we can separate the campaigns on it. So it's pretty basic. Only thing you have to do is to incorporate all the data from different data points in this system. I think you can also build a similar sheet in Channable as well, but this is for us the most convenient way to do it. And it's working pretty easy if it's set up once. So basically you can see we get the benchmark data from this client from the Google Merchant Center. So you have over here the benchmarks, numbers of the prices, and you can fetch this data with the script in a decent spreadsheet as well, and that you can incorporate with your master sheet. So there you can see if your product is decent priced or not. And this is an actual case in the fashion industry as well. And the objective of this case was that we are reducing the total amount of spend and increase the ROAS in this case. And also in the meantime, we want to reduce the returns. And also we want to see if we can improve the profit on ad spend in this case. This is, you can see it on the right side, ACOS. That's the total amount of what we going to spend on a sale in this case. And it's pretty cool to see that we have run this test from last summer to 25 December in this case. And what we saw is that if we, with this setup, we are generate less revenue, but that was fine in this case because we want to improve the profitability of the campaigns. So you can see we are spending 55% less than before. Also, the amount of conversions decreased a little bit more with 30%, but in this case, it's not. It was not a big deal because of what I said. We want to the campaigns be more profitable. So if you look at the ROAS column, we can see we are increased the ROAS with 55%, and that was the angle of this test setup in this case. And also the return rate went from 30% to 7%, and in this case, in the fashion industry, that's a big deal because of I don't know if you know the stories, because of if e-commerce stores have to prepare returns for new sales again, that's not profitable at all. In some cases, the products are also being demolished because of it's way too expensive to prepare the product for sale again. So this way we are, if we look at the environmental influence of this campaign settings, I think we achieved pretty cool results. And for now, it is see where we can tweak all those different data points to increase the profit way more. And I think it's a pretty cool way to increase your profits out of your campaign and reduce the amount of returns in the meantime. Basically, that's the thing we are, what I'm going to tell today. We are working right now to see if we can improve the system as well a little bit more with, in this case, a little bit more predictive model, because we already know how many supply we have for the upcoming weeks. And we also like to see if we can, if we use these data points we have to predict a little bit more seasonality, a little bit more of what the competitors will do. Then we can advise our clients to be a little bit more better with their buy-in process, and to see if they can reduce the amount of overstock and those types of stuff. So that's where we're working on right now. And I'm pretty curious if you guys have any questions in the meantime.
There are a lot of questions already, Ruben, but we unfortunately can't handle them all because we're already a bit over time. But thanks
Already?
a lot. And I think it's also, we also have here a poll to basically see how the webinar was for you. Is it perfect? Was it too advanced, too basic? Let us know, because we really need this to understand how we can basically make your life better and where we can basically help you with as well. If you have any feedback, also feel free to contact us on LinkedIn, and we try to get all the feedback and make it even better, because it needs to be value for you. If you want to have more of this value, you can definitely follow Ruben's newsletter about Taskforce as well. But they're also sharing a lot of this stuff. We also really like to read this, so I would definitely recommend to look at it. For now, I think we need to speed up a bit, because Ruben did his thing. He shared a lot of value with you, and therefore we're also taking a bit more time. And at least we want to also thank you, because we had more than 1,200 registrations this time, which was even 500 more than last time. So really glad to see that there is so much interest. And I think for now it's good to also head into the most important questions for now. And maybe we have time for 2-3 questions, Jochem.
Yeah, sure. Let's get into it. First question from Geert. Will it affect the learning curve if items keep switching between buckets?
Yeah, of course, it's always the case. It's also with the famous labelizer structure is also the case. So what we tend to do is upload the sheet once a week. Then we have enough traction to shift products as well. And if you have enough conversion data, I think Google learns in about 1.5 conversion cycles. So if you have enough conversions, it won't affect that much. So to be sure, we do it once a week.
Nice, thanks. Smart. Next question from Matthijs. What would you advise to e-commerce companies with a low ad budget to start with only a standard shopping campaign, or would you start with a pmax shopping only campaign?
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends what is low budget in this case. But I think you need at least, if you want to start with a Performance Max campaign, you need at least enough budget to run 100 conversions a month. If you have less, then I would recommend to start with a standard shopping campaign. Right now, maybe in a few months it's different, because we don't know how long Google is taking on standard shopping. But I like to advise to build a standard shopping structure where you can separate based on intent. So it's the old waterfall structure, maybe people will know. But if you need help with that, you can always send a message, and then we can help. Then I will suggest to start with a standard shopping campaign.
Right, thanks. Next question from Niels. You talked about scripts. What scripts do you recommend for using pmax?
There are a lot, and there are a lot of developments in it. So in this case, I think the most famous one is from Mike Rhodes. I think he released a new one last week, the version 70, I guess. That script gave a lot of insights. Also, I think the labelizer script from Flowboost is pretty awesome. And yeah, although I think those are the two scripts I use mainly. And next to that, yeah, I'm using the most of the time is Channable to do the rest with the data. So I think those are the most important.
Got it. Thanks. We actually have Floris the Schrijver from Flowboost in our next
Oh, really?
episode. Next
Oh,
month.
yeah, I know.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
I think that's also a very good bridge of you, Jochem, to to move on, because we indeed would like to answer all of the questions here, but we have a lot of questions. So what we asked Ruben, and I think it's very generous, and we will also help them, of course, to basically answer the most upvoted questions and send them to you with the recording and with the slides. Because we don't have time to answer everything now. And he even was so generous by saying, hey, if you have any questions, you can even go directly to him or to the inbox, right? That you had the email address as well. And that's what we also can share, by the way, with the follow-up.
Yeah.
But indeed, we have a next session planned, and I saw Floris was in here as well. So as he said, I am here, guys, and he's really looking forward to it. So that's really cool, and he's a really cool session about ad copy testing. There's even a lot of AI involved in that and sentiment. So they're basically going to check what works better and how to optimize that ad copy. So I would really highly recommend to see that one as well. And that one is on the 25th of July at 4 p.m. So we try to take the same time every now and then. And we're also looking for a speaker in August, but therefore we would like your help because we didn't pick anyone yet. But we would like to know what your favorite topic is, and therefore we also have a poll to see what your favorite topic is, and then we'll try to do our best to get the best specialist around that topic as well. It could be anything, so just choose whatever you would like. And maybe take into account that from August you start with the e-commerce, the biggest e-commerce times with around Black Friday and all prepping around that. So there could be an interesting one as well. But in the end, you need to choose, and we'll try to get the best specialist for you there. I see a lot of scattered answers, but I think just keep on filling it in, and we'll make sure you get the best session. For now, give us feedback. So if you have anything, feel free to reach out to us, connect with us, and we will make sure you get enough value as possible. We'll try to get the best session for you out there. And the next session is on the 25th of July. So hereby I want to thank you and see you next time. Ciao.
Thanks, everyone. And thanks, Ruben.
No problem. Great to do.